Welcome to the new version of the Ridgetec mobile app. We've made some big changes to make the app easier to navigate, especially for users who have multiple cameras. Currently, this version is only available for Android phones, and we plan to have it ready for Apple phones by year's end. The biggest change you'll notice is that the home screen's been completely overhauled. You can now expand and collapse the cameras in your list, and the borders are color-coded, so if you see a green border, that means that camera has new photos to view. Once photos have been checked, or if there are no new photos, the border will be red. If the camera is shared with you from another user, the border will be yellow. Tap a collapsed camera to open it up and see recent photos and a whole host of buttons, as well as its last reported battery level. If there are any items that require your attention, like a low battery or a full SD card, a caution symbol will periodically appear in place of the battery symbol, and tapping on it will display the warning messages. You can scroll left and right between recent photos, and new photos now have a marker on them that disappears after enlarging and closing the photo. Below your photos is a row of buttons. The gallery button takes you to the full gallery, which now has infinite scrolling, so no more pages. Depending on things like cell signal, Wi-Fi strength, or phone memory, you may see photos load as you scroll. If a new photo comes in while you're viewing the gallery, the page will refresh automatically. The Settings button opens the Settings tab, which looks and behaves how it always has. You can toggle between standard and advanced settings via an option in the app menu, which we'll look at in a bit. The Save button saves any changes you make for the camera to take at next check-in before sending you back home, and Cancel takes you back to the home screen without saving. Tap and hold the green button next to Settings to queue up a photo request. The next time the camera checks in for a heartbeat, it will see the request and take and send a photo. If you have the remote control setting enabled, this button will be split into the same snap and wake buttons that appear on the portal's Actions tab when remote control is enabled. Tap and hold the refresh button to the far right to refresh the camera if necessary. Below these buttons are your tabs, if you will. You can swipe between these or tap them like buttons. The Home tab is the main tab for managing the camera and displays the items we've already gone over. The Camera Information tab shows you camera info and stats, like cell signal, SD card space, next expected contact, the date time of its last check-in, etc. The next tab over is Action History, which shows you the history of your queued actions, photo requests, SD card erase actions, settings downloads, etc. If you have a new request queued up that you've made an error or changed your mind about, you can swipe right to bring up the Cancel button, and if you want to see details about a request once it's been completed, you can swipe left and hit the More button. The next tab, Actions, has buttons to erase your SD card and cloud storage, and to mark all photos as red if necessary. This will take the new tag off all photos for that camera, and its border will turn red or yellow if it's a shared camera. The final tab, Admin, allows you to do things like resync the database in the event of missing photos, as well as report a camera as stolen or remove it from your list if necessary. Back on the Home tab, let's open a photo. Across the top, you'll see some buttons. We'll run through each one really quick. First button is the Sharing button. Tap this button to share the photo via text, email, social media, etc. The next button over is Download. This button will download the photo to your device's photo viewing app. The Info button will toggle photo info on and off. The next button over will delete photos. And then you've got Requests. If you're viewing a photo thumbnail, you can request a high-res max or original photo, and for video thumbnails, there will be a Video Request button here instead. And finally, tap the red X to go back to the home screen. If we go into the whole gallery, we'll see similar buttons across the top. The idea is the same, but these put you into a selection mode where you can tap on multiple items or hit a Select All Visible button to select each one on screen to share, download, or request multiples at once. Enlarging a photo will allow you to share, download, or make requests individually, just like when you tap on a recent photo on the home screen. Since your gallery could have both photo and video thumbnails, make sure you hit the correct button for the request you want to make. The HQ or camera icon for high-res and original photos, or the video camera icon for videos. Back on the home screen, you can see your remaining pool data and account balance at the very bottom. Since all cameras on an account share this data, this info is embedded in one spot instead of taking up more space underneath each camera. Now let's hit the Menu button at the top left to open the app menu. We'll run through each entry really quick. Refresh refreshes the entirety of the home screen if necessary. Settings brings up controls for mobile push notifications and advanced features like background synchronization, which allows the app to stay up to date with your photos while the app is running in the background and not front and center. You can also toggle advanced camera settings on and off and adjust some home screen items, like how cameras sort, how the search filter operates, or if they display a thumbnail while collapsed. Each setting explains what it does, so feel free to take a look and play around a little bit if you want to check them out. Next, we've got Admin. So far, this allows you to remove any media older than 30 days to save space. Then My Account takes you to the My Account page so you can control your billing and plan settings. Add Camera currently takes you to a screen to add a new SIM card for a lookout. Future models will be able to be added via QR code instead. Next is the System Log Viewer. If System Log is enabled in Settings, you'll be able to view the log items here. This can help us troubleshoot any problems you may have in the future. App Info is rather self-explanatory. Next, we've got Suspend and Stop My Pool Billing. If going to My Account and changing your billing option to Do Not Renew is a step or two too many, just use this button to shut your cameras down instead. And finally, Logout does what it says on the tin. One last quick thing. You can use the magnifying glass up to the right on the home screen to search for a particular camera if you have a huge list and don't need to scroll through looking for it every time. The check mark makes your result appear below. The magnifying glass with the X makes the search bar disappear but keeps your search results active. And the circled X closes the search and reverts the home screen back to the full list. And that's pretty much the rundown of the new app. As I said before, we'll be updating and tweaking it as we go, but for now, it's ready for the public to use. We hope you enjoy the new version, and if you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to shoot us an email at prostaff@ridgetechoutdoors.com.